How y'all doing? How y'all doing? This is Corey the Entrepreneur. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Today I want to do a quick tutorial. A lot of you know me and you know I love to speak. Speaking is my passion. And I have a lot of you ask me that you want to get into speaking. And one of the main questions that I've gotten is how to prepare to speak. Some people may have very different opinions on this, because I believe preparing for a speech or speaking or anything you do is all like getting a haircut. Sometimes you can go to one barber, he does it one way, you go to another barber, they do it that way. But as long as you come out with a good haircut, like you like it, and your hair looking good, then you've been successful. So with the steps I'm finna give you is how I prepare for a speech. Okay, I'm not saying it's the only way that you can do it, but it's just how me personally I do it. All right, it's 2019. People on the run. People don't have time to watch a whole 3-4 hour thing. So I'm gonna show you in about 5 minutes or a little over how to prepare for a speech, how I prepare for a speech. Okay, so listen. The first thing I think that needs to be done in a speech is you need to know who you're talking to. That's number one. So if somebody call me and they say, hey, Corey, I want you to speak to an audience, I'll say, okay, who is the audience? Is it millennials? Is it older people? Is it what's the demographics? Is it people from Ireland? Is it people from the inner city, the suburbs? Who am I speaking to? That way, if I know who I'm speaking to, then I'll know what to speak to. Right? You can't get information if you don't know who you're talking to. The second thing is to know what the group needs. All right? Know the message. So you go to the person who's hiring you and say, what point are you trying to deliver? What message are you trying to send? Because you want to stay in those areas of the person who's hired you, because one, they're paying you and they're going to be the one to cut the check, but two, you want to make sure you're doing what they want, the message they're trying to give their audience. All right, number three, the thing I do is gather the information. So once I know who I'm talking to, once I know my message of the people that's hiring me, or my purpose for delivering the speech, then I can start to gather all the information I need on all the information that I've obtained so far. So I get information about the demographics of the people who I'm talking to. I get statistics. I start to gather all the information that I need to deliver my information properly, right? So once you do that, once you gather all the information you need, then I believe you start to organize it. You sit down and you organize it. You say, okay, you want to start with an opening. And an opening, in my opinion, should always be some sort of like story or some kind of way that can relate you to your audience. So if you grew up in the inner city, you can maybe start by telling a story about, if you're talking to high school kids, you can start telling them a story about something that happened to you in the inner city, you know, where something that tempted you, or something that almost hurt you, that you came over. That way it relates you to the audience. It gives them a sense of knowing you and knowing that you can relate to who they are. Because what you want to do there is build trust. Because once you build trust, people can receive from you. And no one's going to receive from you if they don't trust you, right? So you gather the information, you put that beginning, right? That opening. And from that opening, you go into the body of your speech. So you want to go into the meat and potatoes of the purpose of why you're saying it, what you want them to get from your speech. You know, everything you want to deliver, all the message, you want to deliver all that in that middle part. And then when you're wrapping it down, you want to get to the closing. So the closing, in your closing, you always want to give people an action button to push. You want to give people something to do, right? So in your closing, you sum up everything that you've told them in a nutshell, and you say, this is why I'm saying this. So in my closing, you say, this is why I'm doing this, so I want you to learn this. As I told you before, this. So you kind of reiterate a little on what you said and the reason, the purpose, and then you give them what you want them to do, an action button, I call it. So you say, you know, I want everybody to start today to try to do better. You know, you give them something to do, okay? And once you finish that, I think after the closing, you just wrap it up. You say, thank y'all so much for having me. And you may take some questions and answers or something like that. I mean, some questions that you can answer, something like that. But overall, now, like I said, there's many ways to do this. There's many ways it to be done. But overall, this is how I prepare for a speech. And I think if you prepare this way, you'll be ready when it's your time. Thank you for listening.